here we go, back again with another... Where's my fucking drink at? Who's put the seat up there? Parlez-vous français? Qu'est-ce que c'est là, de drinker? Well, here we go, back again with another video, and yesterday we're going to talk about players coming into Sunderland. Yes, news on players coming into Sunderland. So before we move on to the Jobe Bellingham situation, I want to say a big sort of well done to Sheffield Wednesday and Luton being promoted to respective divisions. Luton up to the Premier League. Well done, Luton. Beat Sunderland in the playoff semi-finals. They're being promoted via the playoffs and the penalty win over that team they beat. Who did Luton beat again? It's only been 2 days ago. Who did Luton beat again? How can I not remember who Luton beat? Who was in the playoffs? Coventry, that was it. They beat Coventry. Commiserations, Coventry. Well done, Luton. And Sheffield Wednesday today, Barnsley were absolutely magnificent against 11 men Sheffield Wednesday. Barnsley players sent off 49 minutes. 49 minutes, and they held on. You couldn't believe it. You couldn't make it up. They held on all the way into extra time, into the last minute. The last Fergie time of injury time. 33 minutes of stoppage time, or whatever you want to say, and they scored Sheffield Wednesday. So well done, Sheffield Wednesday. Well done being promoted to the Championship. Hard lines, Barnsley. Your team did you proud. But also, I want to say a big get well soon to AJ Alessi. Alessi being back in for another operation. Not having much luck at the moment, the young lad. He came on half-time, or whatever it was, against Luton in the playoff semi-finals, and he's injured again. The reoccurrence of the same injuries come back again. He's a young lad. I'm sure they'll get to the bottom of this. I hope they do, touch wood, and I hope he comes back stronger and fitter. And, it is a testament to young players coming through. He's got a big smile on his face, sitting in his bed table, sitting in his bed in hospital. So I do wish him a speedy recovery, AG. Thoughts are going out with you. I hope you come back fitter and better than ever. Right, so there we go. So there's those things out the way. But now we're going to move, before we move on to Jobe and information I'm getting, I want to talk about AMAD. A lot of people out there huffing and puffing and thinking about AMAD's going to come back to Sunderland. Now, do you think Manchester United is going to let AMAD come back to Sunderland for a full season in the Championship again? Right, this is what the papers have to say. AMAD Diallo linked with a Sunderland return dependent on key factor. The Manchester United loanee turned into one of the signings of the season. The Manchester United forward AMAD Diallo has been linked with a return to Sunderland next season, according to the latest reports. Alan Nixon of The Sun claims the 20-year-old would be open to return to the stadium remains Tony Mowbray as head coach. As long as Tony Mowbray remains as head coach. There has been plenty of speculation regarding Mowbray's future at the club, having guided them into the Championship playoffs ahead of schedule. The young Black Cats thrived under his stewardship, with Diallo one of the standout players of the division. However, leading up to the final few games of the Championship, transfer guru Mr. Fabrizio Romano claimed that Ferroli was recently managed some Turkey side, saying he's going to come manager and knock Tony Mowbray out of the seat. Bollocks. Absolute bollocks. Anyway, this could open the door for Diallo's return if Tony Mowbray stays. The two sides could meet again. A move to the Netherlands is also an option for the Manchester United forward, according to the report. The winger has only made 9 appearances for the Red Devils, struggling in his recent loan spell with Rangers, but shone in the Championship with Sunderland. 14 goals, 3 assists, in the red and white shirt. Erik ten Hag admitted that AMAD needed an opportunity to prove he could play for Manchester United in the long run, and he did really well at Sunderland. The Ivory Coast international has twice commented with a handshake emoji on his 2 Instagram posts mentioning a return to the Weir side, adding another layer of uncertainty. So there we go. Do you actually think AMAD's going to come back? Now, I've been talking to my source, and my source says it is very unlikely AMAD will return back to the Stadium of Light. So don't build your hopes up if you're thinking AMAD's going to come back. Never mind paper talk, hype and speculation. My source says it's very unlikely. It's not, mind you, he also did say it's not 100% certain that he won't. So I think in his eyes it's 80-20 he won't be returned to the Stadium Light. There's a small chance he could return to the Stadium Light, but it's highly unlikely. Now Jobe Bellingham. Yes, Jobe. We move on to Jobe Bellingham speculation. Jobe, 17 years of age, has already had his medical at Sunderland. He's had his medical passed at Sunderland, done really well. Now he's coming back up to the Stadium of Light on Wednesday to hopefully finalise the contract talks and sign on the dotted line. But obviously he can't do that until July. But to get it all signed, sealed and ready and to be delivered, Wednesday is when Jobe is back up to the Stadium of Light. Jobe Bellingham, born on the 18th of September, 17 years of age, 24 games for Birmingham and no goals. He is a forward strike. He can get play up front a little bit. But his brother, at the same age, moved to Borussia Dortmund. At the same age, he played 41 games for Birmingham and he scored 4 goals. And he moved to Dortmund at the ages of 17 and 1 month. So, Jobe is a little bit behind Jude. That's why he's moving to Sunderland. But the potential, how often do you see brothers and family members do really well and flourish throughout their, following in siblings' footsteps? So I do wish Jobe all the best at the Stadium of Light. It is a risk, but at the same time, 3 million, I think it's worth taking the risk because it potentially, I can see the pound signs or the dollar signs or the Deutschmarks or whatever you want to call it, appearing in KLD's eyes and Sartori's eyes because, this could be a money pit. He could be. He comes to Sunderland. He improves under the likes of Tony Mowbray with all the rest of the youngsters at Sunderland. And he improves and he'd be worth an absolute fortune. Jude, worth a fortune. So there we go. Jobe could be the same. So for me, I think it's worth taking that chance. And I think the people in charge of Sunderland are they're definitely going to risk taking that chance. Because he's back at Sunderland on Wednesday to finalise his contract talk. So there we go. Jobe on Wednesday. AMAD, small chance to come back to Sunderland. But, it's paper talk. We need other players in. The players are away now on holiday till the 26th of June before they return. We do have 2 games in one day. We play South Shields at 12:30 and Gateshead about 4:30 on the same day. It will be great to be able to go to both games and do a vlog on the games. It depends on whether it's open to spectators. We'll find out soon. So there we go. I hope you've enjoyed the video. It's a quick little video. How many players do we need to bring in? You let me know how many players do we need to bring in and how many players, if all the players that we have now stay at Sunderland, pardon me, how many players do we need to bring in? I would say about 4 or 5. If we lose players, that's when we need to really start pushing the boat out. But I do think we need to really go for more experienced players, because we need to start to bring. We've had a good season, but for me, 1 or 2 more experienced players in key situations, key positions, that will be absolutely fantastic. So there we go. Hope you enjoyed the video. If you want to pop over to my other channel, it's Mad Out and About. I'll leave a link down below in the description. Please subscribe. Much appreciated. Take care. God bless me. God go with you. And we'll see you later on in the week for more news. If you want to see Jobe hang around the Stadium of Light, you might see him. See you later on Wednesday.